Hello, nature enthusiasts. I want to talk today a little bit about habitat restoration and why bother. So habitat restoration is a big part of my life. It's what I do for my job, basically, is to organize habitat restoration projects. And what those projects are and what habitat restoration is an attempt to increase the quality of a habitat. Now, what do I mean by increase the quality of a habitat? The quality of a habitat is measured by the sort of ecological functions, the ecological benefits, the ecological processes that occur at that site. So the number of species that are found there or that use that site, the amount of pollution that is found on that site or that rolls off of that site when carried with stormwater. These are all forms or measures of environmental quality. There are many more. And so if you have an area where very few species are using it, and you can do something to change it so that more species use it, that's increasing the quality of the habitat. If you have a lot of pollution running off of a site when it rains and the stormwater washes pollutions off the site, and you can do something to make it so that when it rains, less pollution flows off that site, you've increased the quality of the habitat. And so I'm actually standing at a spot which is a really great example of what sort of the before and after looks like. So you see back there behind me, that is the end of sort of a corridor, a strip of big trees, mature riparian forest. Riparian is vegetation that's found near water. And if you have trees and other plants along the edges of water, and you don't mess with them for a while, they grow into these big, big trees, big cottonwoods and sycamores back there, some oaks, and also all the tangles underneath, willows and grapevine and coyote bush, all sorts of plants that grow under those trees. And it becomes this very integrated, very complex, very cool habitat. Now, there's a stretch of sort of open ground in front of that habitat, which takes you to the road that I'm standing on. And if you go across the road, check this out. If we walk across the road here, you have that area. Now, as you can see, another long strip, but a lot of big trees? No. A lot of complex vegetation, different heights, different species all mixed together? No. This site has looked basically like this for a very long time. It's been this big open area of mostly kind of low grass, if that, bare soil sometimes, just kind of barren. But work is actually being done here. So this is not one of my projects that I oversee, but it is a neighboring project. And you see those rows going down all the site? This is a huge, long project, and those rows indicate where irrigation lines have been run. So basically hoses that can water the site. And all along those lines are native plants that have been planted in all the way down the site. And the idea is that given 30, 50, 100 years, that behind me is going to look like what you saw on the other side of the road. Big, tall trees with lots of complex grasses underneath and some shorter trees in between them. And just a huge complexity of habitat so that there are a lot more species that will use it and enjoy it. Because you can think about how many species do you think are going to use this area? How many mammals, how many birds, how many reptiles and amphibians are going to use that area as it is right now? Probably not very many. Maybe some, but not very many. Compare that with like a fully mature forest. Probably a lot more. And so that's an improvement of the habitat quality of that area out there. And so that's the whole point of habitat restoration. That's why we do what we do. It's to take areas that look like this, sort of low quality habitats or lower quality, and find ways of improving. In this case, the primary way of improving this habitat was to plant a whole bunch of native plants that over time will grow and create an entirely different habitat. So you're going to go from this open kind of semi-barren scrubby grass kind of habitat into a wonderful, mature, complex riparian forest. And so that'll be pretty amazing, even though it takes quite a bit of patience to wait for those plants to get up to height and for all the animals to start using them. So that is a little bit about habitat restoration. It's something that I care deeply about. And I really like getting the chance to show it with you and share it with you. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you learned something, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep producing more and we will grow this channel together and keep on exploring and learning. And until next time, enjoy the natural world.